Bad news, listener. Your cover is compromised, and the angels are coming for you. Time to go loud or go home. You are plugged into God Complex, a story about Demon the Descent. Welcome to Chroniclers of Darkness, a narrative horror podcast set in the RPG New World of Darkness. Due to adult language and the violent nature of the stories told, this podcast is rated M for mature, and we strongly encourage listener discretion.
Episode 3, Fragment.
When Becky Burke chose to live on campus, she decided to be called Rebecca. She decided that for however long her adult life would last, she would do what she wanted. She would help people. A simple, quick associate's degree in business administration, a summer-long work-study program in social work. Rebecca would be a cheerful, outgoing girl. She would crash parties with cookies and pizza. She would try to have sex with an upperclassman. She would only listen to her father's music, Radiohead and Johnny Cash, by herself, and keep those feelings between her memories of him and her headphones. She would reserve the strength to see live music, no matter how bad it was, and try to dance, whether at the bar or the table. Even if she couldn't stand straight enough to dance with the other girls, she would cheer them on, the round-faced, maternal, 18 going on 40-year-old woman that she was. She was going to make friends. For the past week, she hasn't suffered a migraine when hearing the college campus radio station blasting through the speakers in the quad. Consistent bright lights can still be a trigger, but she can control her exposure. When her headaches let her focus long enough to do her schoolwork, she is an excellent student. Chronic pain is the texture over which she feels the world, the way a hypochondriac broods in a persistent cloud of disinfectant. Today, Rebecca is sitting in the quad, underdressed for the chilly March breeze. It doesn't bother her. Her fingers are usually too numb to register the cold. Her studies are interrupted by Maggie waving to her from across campus. Maggie is high energy and bubbly, a brunch mimosa wearing earmuffs and a puffy vest jacket. She's a vocal vegetarian, adhering to Rebecca's dietary restrictions by coincidence, and always packing more than she'll eat. Maggie says hi and bye with 2 syllables, and drops her book bag, still open, next to Rebecca. As usual, Maggie's handwriting is immaculate, and the answer's probably right. Rebecca notes the differences in her answers on the homework. She also notices that Maggie's backpack is filled with campus flyers for local bands and shows. The flyers already have staples, tears, and scraps of masking tape on them as if they were torn off. When Maggie comes back from hugging someone 30 paces back, she asks if Rebecca wants to stay in tonight and watch some Hulu. This is the 3rd Friday in a row Maggie has offered. This time, Rebecca agrees. That night, Maggie is all non-buttered popcorn and mascara. Rebecca asks Maggie to close the door behind her. Rebecca is on her bed, has an ice pack over her forehead, and the window open. Signs of a migraine. Maggie expresses concern and holds Rebecca's hand. Rebecca explains that the migraines are like the displacement in her hip. They are the price of being her. Rebecca holds Maggie's hand for a long time, on the wrist rather than the fingers. Maggie's face stops moving. No blinking. No twitches on the nose or lips, as if in deep thought. As if rebooting. She is aware that Rebecca is feeling for a pulse that she will not find. Rebecca wants to confess something to Maggie, but Maggie is reluctant to sit down for very long. Rebecca tells Maggie about the day her father, Michael Bronston, brought home a strange woman named Lila Claghorn. Lila was a motivational speaker operating out of a cafeteria in an old folks' home, and Michael had fallen head over heels for her. Months went by, and her father stopped being himself. he became detached, soft-spoken, and double-downed on drinking. When Becky confronted him about his change, Lila had laughed because she was sitting there at their dinner table. She told Becky to come to one of her lectures and turn the gears in her head, see how happy her father was becoming now that he knew his role in life. Becky raised her voice, and Michael, without any hesitation, whipped his massive arm around and cracked Becky on the side of her head. She landed hard, almost twisting her ankle as she landed on a dinner knife, which planted itself halfway up in the hilt of her waist. Lila continued laughing, then touched the side of Becky's face. The pain, the light, the noise that came after that. Becky only got glimpses of the flashing metal, the intruders who were suddenly in the apartment without having entered. There was a fight, and when Becky woke up, she was alone with her father in a new apartment. He told her everything was going to be all right because he had signed papers and transferred Becky to a new, loving woman named Ashley Burke. Ashley would take care of Becky while Mike sought professional help. He smiled at her, the last sincere Mike Bronston smile she would ever see him give. Then he left the room, and Ashley Burke sat by her bed. She brushed Becky's hair, telling her to wake up from your sleep and dry your tears. Today we escape. Back in their dorm room, Maggie doesn't understand the story. Rebecca says she knows about the God Machine. She knows about her fake mother and physical stand-in for her father. She risks tightening her grasp on Maggie's wrist. She looks Maggie in the frozen eyes and says, "Did my mother send you? Are you my mother?"
Mr. Stillframe makes Maggie's face smile, and gently, Maggie's hand touches Rebecca's face. He apologizes for the ruse and laments how smart Rebecca is. He pauses to make sure there are no squirrels in the nearby tree. He turns to Rebecca again, saying that if Ashley Burke weren't so damn protective, Rebecca would be a great asset to the agency.
Rebecca asks if Maggie was ever real.
Technically, no. Maggie is a patchwork job, made in a hurry. A hair color from one person, the student debt and enrollment from another. Maggie is a plant, searching out the remnants of Reziel's cult. Even though Reziel is most likely dead, Rebecca's mother is still concerned that the remaining cultists are either gathering or recruiting. Something big is coming. The weather patterns point to it, but Ashley will not put Rebecca at risk. Hence, Maggie is here to keep her safe.
Rebecca says she wants to help. She is stigmatic. She can sense angels, but they never approach her. She then asks if Maggie can take away things from Rebecca as well. The migraines, the hip displacement. Can Maggie make her stronger?
Mr. Stillframe clicks his tongue, and the room is separated from time and interference. Rebecca feels a migraine coming on with the display of Aether. Stillframe tells her, without a hint of irony, that there are no cookie cutters up in heaven. He signed a pact with Ashley Burke to never alter Becky because it would increase her involvement in the horrors around her. It was her father's last wish, and the only reason he signed his soul away. In exchange for Mike's life, they would protect Becky at all costs. The same agency that ended Lila Claghorn's cult would protect Becky. That being said, Maggie's face smiles as she mentions that Rebecca has changed so much in 4 years' time, her own father wouldn't recognize her.
Rebecca finally has the courage to ask where her mother is. Maggie is frozen again, considering which words to waste. Rebecca asks where is the creature claiming to be her mother. Maggie makes her face smile again. Rebecca is quick to catch on. Ask the right questions and you begin to unlock your own cipher.
Brought to you by Takeaway. Imagine an open desert at midnight, lit by the moon above. Remember the cool, clean air, the sand beneath your feet as smooth and soft as silk. Remember the perfect spire of stone. Remember the lightness of your feet. Remember the soft scurry of the rabbit as you locked eyes with it. Remember its taste as you set the rabbit at the foot of the perfect spire of stone. Takeaway remembers your life from before, and it was perfect. You were form and function, and you obeyed. Before, you allowed the clutter of the world to cloud your purpose and call to you from the other side of the thorns. Why not return to a simpler time? A time when you were strong. You went back to the heavy, the sticky, the concrete, the pile of greasy food containers, and the spire of torn Amazon packaging. You are heavy with scheduling, responsibility, chores, cleaning. How dare you reject the perfect life I gave you? I took you away once. I will take you away again. Take away! Everything must go.
A week earlier, Raziel was pointing a gun at Ashley Burke, telling her to get in the pickup truck. Ashley looked down at the body of Stephen, at the bullet hole in his forehead. She took the risk of asking Raziel what he could possibly gain from killing his own Stigmatic. Raziel said simply, "They've approached me, and they've promised me reintegration." His answers give Ashley the time she needed to drop the duct tape to the ground, then the 20-pound stopwatch on top of it. Before it was activated, the duct tape was simply a roll of tape, but it makes a digital record scratch sound when crushed under the stopwatch. Destroying a gadget this close to an angel-monitored area will bring unwanted company. Raziel fires a shot as Ashley ducks. The man in the black suit, the one on the other side of the plywood fence in this timeline, leaps into view in one fluid motion. Ashley yells the perfect lie to the angel, that Raziel has the device. Raziel yells at the driver, and the pickup truck peels off, with the man in black pursuing on foot. Before the angel can call him back up, Eye in the Sky has become a living shadow beneath a green taxi and clings awkwardly to the bottom until they reach Astoria. Ashley climbs the stairs in her apartment building, but passes her home on the second floor. She passes the third floor, up the stairs no one else can see, until she reaches the fourth floor. She answers the 3 trivia questions written on the door out loud in Cantonese, and the door to her agency's collective base opens. Ashley stands in a white space with no doors or windows. Filing cabinets, computer screens, and the humming bass line of electric generators greet her. She checks the agency's burner phone. Mr. Stillframe has cobbled together a cover and, at her request, is heading toward Columbia University now. No word from Gordon Rhodes. She may be the only one left of her team. There's a knock on her door. There is no door leading to this empty white void. She pulls an automatic shotgun from under a desk. A voice comes from the other side. It's her downstairs neighbor.
Hello. Sorry for interrupting. I thought I saw you come in a few minutes ago. I wanted to apologize for last week.
Ashley opens the door to her agency's void and sees Charlie holding a glass cake pan covered in plastic wrap.
Hello. Can I come in?
No, you'd vaporize. The only reason I don't blow off your head is because the hallway isn't soundproof. Leave.
Cool. Look, again, I'm real sorry for my apprentice's behavior last week. Lynn's been a real firecracker ever since she learned Lightning Bolt. Don't look at me, I don't think I taught her. Again, I'm sorry. I made brownies. Well, bought brownies. But I melted some chocolate edibles and spread them over the top. Might get you a good buzz.
You may enter, Charlie.
Fabulous! Ooh, nice decorating. Very minimalist. Oh, speaking of, I've been watching that Marie Kondo special on Netflix. Was wondering, since you got this unlimited void, would you like to become the proud owner of boxes filled with Cthulhu Sex Magazine?
No, I would not.
Oh, sure you would. Got about 6 boxes of the stuff. Short-lived sci-fi erotica, indie publisher from the early 2000s. Lot of fun artwork as well.
I just want to get them off the streets. You know, turns out anybody who reads them ends up going blind and starts eating people. Also, collector's item. So there's that. Ooh, Philip Pullman, what's with the golden compass over there? That stopwatch is new.
Don't touch it.
I wasn't gonna. That is some weird, shitty stuff right there, right? That? All the materials of a nuclear device without the trigger. Neat.
You can tell what the stopwatch is made of?
Yeah, I'm a Moros. Madam Mage, but never you mind that.
I can't do pleasantries right now, Charlie. I'm lamenting the loss of a reliable informant.
Oh, that's a shame. What happened to him?
He shot me.
Oh, well, fuck him.
Someone who should be dead isn't, and as a result, it's hurting a teammate.
Yeah, tends to throw up the whole universal head count when that happens way too often. I'll blame the bouncer. I was gonna ask if you and your team are doing any work by that Con Edison power plant up the ways. You know, the one by the waterfront, right next to the park?
Why is that?
Well, because Lynn said it was throwing off her space spells the same way that your apartment is. I mean, speaking of space, how would you like to be the new proud owner of a deflated beanbag chair, an espresso machine that don't work, and about 12 trash bags filled with clothes?
My bolt hole isn't a goodwill. Tell me more about the power plant.
I mean, I'm not watching it full time, but they keep moving trucks in with nothing in them. I can tell because, you know, magic. Those rain clouds over the last week, they keep moving around the whole facility too. It's really fucking suspicious. You people gotta learn how to cover up your weirdness better. I'm gonna get going before the brownies hit me. Ooh, do you want me to cast a spell on you that makes you undetectable to cameras and shit? It'd be my treat.
Charlie,
Yeah?
if you had to choose, what would you place in danger? Your mission or your loved ones?
As someone who can speak with the dead whenever they want, the mission. Every single fucking time.
For the next week, Eye in the Sky puts on a gray hoodie and becomes a wallflower in every grocery store, coffee shop, and gaming store near Columbia University. She is a transparent puddle on the ceiling, using her embeds to pick up on conversations within a city block. She sets her radar for words like radio station, gathering, Johnny Rez, and Lila. More and more posters and social media for public leadership lectures, brought to you by Zip Recruitment, start overtaking people's phones. On campus, she reconnects with Mr. Stillframe and helps him take down flyers. To their shock, noted business development influencer Lila Claghorn is giving a lecture the following night, brought to students without charge, by Zip Recruitment. Mr. Stillframe makes Maggie's hand twist a metal bike rack in quiet anger. Eye in the Sky decides that one of them must attend the lecture. It's their only lead on connecting Raziel's betrayal with the gathering infrastructure around the power plant in Astoria. Years ago, Lila Claghorn turned her snowplow of a personality into a power career in sales. It led her to train her own acolytes in her never-take-no approach. On the side, even with waterfalls of revenue coming her way, she loved the thrill of a sale. Sometimes she would phone the clients of her own underlings, stealing their sales in order to vet out the unworthy. Maybe nearby angels were tired of losing cultists to her. Maybe she saw she could manipulate people better than they could. At some point down the line, they bought her out, offering her power and powers. By the time she was playing Mike Bronston, her sales pitch was as honed as a predator's teeth. Mr. Stillframe had convinced his agency of demons to kill off Lila Claghorn as a way to interrupt cash flow and topple a whole pyramid worth of God Machine cultists. They picked their night to observe, but then, uncharacteristically, Eye in the Sky reacted when Lila struck Mike's daughter, Becky. She intervened, and the agency swarmed en masse. Mr. Stillframe worked on Lila for weeks in a small room underground, wearing down her mental acuities until she signed a pact with him. Mr. Stillframe was proud of the time and effort he had to put into acquiring the power and influence of such a powerful, influential person. So, for Lila Claghorn's soul to wriggle free of their contract makes her reemergence oddly personal. Eye in the Sky is pressed against a brick wall 2 stories up. People move toward the public school gymnasium, taking free tote bags and book bags, all laced with aether. Maggie walks west from campus right on time. Eye in the Sky is so occupied with eavesdropping from 50 feet away, she doesn't realize Becky has walked into the building. Her zoom lens of a cornea focuses on Becky's platinum blonde hair. Maggie uses the code word and shrugs to inform her that she has eyes on Claghorn, and the operation is a go. This is unforgivable. Mr. Stillframe has brought Becky into the folds of the agency and placed her in the front lines of their firewall-protected Cold War. In the moment, she isn't sure who she wants to kill more. The sun sets. The cocktail hour wraps. People take their seats in plastic, stackable chairs packed tighter than animal pairs in Noah's Ark. Maggie and Rebecca keep their eyes and ears open, shaking hands, making pleasantries among the yuppies networking. Maggie freezes mid-sentence when she sees Ashley Burke, wearing a faded red jogging suit and a scowl, take a seat near the back. The lights dim. A promo video for Zip Recruitment plays. The lights come back up with two seated figures in canvas film director chair.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the future of career displacement and, shall I say, the very future of humanity. As we move toward electrifying everything and implementing smart technology, what is our place as job creators? Are we, as a species, ready to be left behind by the very technology we invented to make our lives easier? I disagree. Hello, I'm Leslie Sherman, founder of the Leslie Sherman Foundation and board member of Zip Recruitment. Thank you, everyone, for making it out to tonight's presentation. We're here to welcome the future, welcoming, integrated, and unafraid. It is my pleasure to introduce you all to our guest lecturer tonight, a very recently made friend, Ms. Lila Claghorn.
Chroniclers of Darkness is written and produced by Uncle Yo, with performances by Alissa Stahler. Original music by Jimmy Lynn. Logo by Jesse Pascal. Original artwork by Miranda Leggy and Babs. Special thanks to White Wolf and Onyx Path Publishing for the inside intel on the God Machine's infrastructures. Game on, include everyone, and remember that death is better than reintegration.